What's going on, family? It's Eleanor, your favorite emotionally unavailable YouTuber, back for another triggering video. Like, share, and subscribe for more content from the dismissive avoidant perspective. Getting right into today's topic, why I go cold as a dismissive avoidant after you get vulnerable with me. And to me, this is very simple. Vulnerability equals overwhelm. Whether it's you pressuring me to be vulnerable with you, or you opening up and being vulnerable with me unprompted, it's overwhelming. It kind of, first of all, I feel like it puts me on the spot to perform or to also be vulnerable. But I really associate vulnerability and being vulnerable, or somebody opening up, with responsibility. Like, if you're being vulnerable with me, I appreciate it and I'm honored that you felt safe enough, but there's also a responsibility to continue to make you feel safe or keep that information safe. And it's not that I can't keep a secret or I can't make someone feel safe. It's that I don't want to feel pressure to always have to show up in that way. I don't want to feel committed to have to always be the shoulder that somebody cries on, or that person that you're always opening up to. And I damn sure don't want you feeling like just because you've been doing all this opening up, that means any moment now I'm going to start to open up. No. Which leads into my next point, which is I don't want to be pulled into obligations I can't keep. Again, that feeling like I have to show up for you in a particular way, or that I'm always a person that you'll be opening up to, or is it a 50-50 that we're going to have a normal conversation versus a conversation where you're going to be vulnerable or emotional and I'm going to have to hold your hand, whether actually physically or figuratively. You know what I mean? Like it could just be overwhelming. I don't want to go there. Sometimes I just want to keep it light. I don't want to feel like there's this obligation there, like I have to do something, like it's a job, like it's a requirement. And then sometimes your openness can feel like pressure for me to, like I said, match it, to perform, to also open up. And I don't want to feel pressure to open up. I open up when I feel safe, in moments when I feel safe. I don't open up when somebody opens up because they felt like opening up. So now I feel like I have to do it too. No. And that's sometimes why I'm cold, is somebody opened up and I'm not in a space to have the conversation. And it's not that I want to be cold, but the awkwardness comes off as coldness, because I'm not going to respond in a way that would, how do I want to say it? I'm not going to respond in a way that's going to promote or suggest that I want to talk about the topic any further. I'm not going to match it. I'm not going to lead you on. I'm not going to tell you a lie. I'm just going to kind of shut it down or change subjects altogether. For me, the withdrawing and the going cold after you become vulnerable feels safer than like fumbling through a conversation. So just like I said, where I'm either kind of shutting down the conversation right there and letting it be known directly or indirectly that I'm not interested in sharing, or I'm not interested in the conversation any further, or I'm going to hit you with the tried and true understood, or I gotcha. You know what I mean? And it's just that awkward cold. But it's like, I don't have anything to give to this conversation, or I don't want to, I'm afraid that you're about to turn this around and make this a moment where you're going to try to get me to be vulnerable with you. And I'm not ready for it. So for me, I don't want to feel trapped. I don't want to feel trapped emotionally to perform, or I don't want to feel trapped that you need me emotionally. So for me, it just feels safer to shut the conversation down, or it just feels safer to just pull away for a little bit. Because you could be being vulnerable with me, but what you're sharing with me is too much for me. Like, I'm not in that place with you just yet. Or, even in situations where, like, I'm at work, we had a client this week that said something, and it was like, honey, like, I don't know why you shared that with me. That's far too much. You're almost like weaponizing your vulnerability. Like, you just told me something wild from out of left field just to get a reaction out of me. And you know what? I'm the right one, because I'm going to give you no reaction, because I can't do that. You know what I mean? Or maybe you don't, and that's why you're here. Hit the like button. But yeah, it's not just in romantic situations where I can be turned off by somebody's vulnerability, or somebody's vulnerability can be too much and make me uncomfortable. But we've all been there where somebody's been oversharing, and it kind of feels like that, but like to an extreme, I guess I would say. So I just don't want to feel trapped, emotionally by you, internally by you, by your vulnerability, and feeling like I have to be there, or now you're expecting me to be here, or now because you shared this with me one time, I'm the person that you can share everything with, or a lot of things with, if I haven't volunteered to be that particular person for you. And I do understand that it looks like rejection. I understand that my flat tone comes across as disinterest or indifference. That's the point. I don't want you to continue on with the conversation any further. I understand that. And I'm not rejecting you. I'm fully rejecting the conversation though. I'm fully rejecting the idea of me becoming vulnerable. It may not be the whole conversation. Let me take that back. It may be, I'm rejecting definitely me being vulnerable, or it may be this level of vulnerability. And I do understand that my lack of response looks like a rejection when I just don't say anything, just kind of nod and let it be known that it's understood. But I figure it's better to be misunderstood than mishandled later if I overshare. Or it may be better to misunderstand than fumble through the conversation and say something that makes the situation even worse. So I would rather be awkward than for it to become a bigger situation than just it being awkward and uncomfortable for you. What my coldness actually means. Coldness is just discomfort. Coldness is that awkward silence. I care. I just can't show it all the time. I just can't necessarily show it all the time on demand. I can't be vulnerable with you on demand like me, how you are. So for me, that's all that coldness is. It's like, not right now. This isn't the time or place for me. I'm not in that space mentally, emotionally. It could even be physically, not right now. My withdrawal is about me, not you. It's about my discomfort with the situation, my discomfort with what was said, my discomfort with the level of vulnerability. It doesn't have anything to do with you necessarily directly in most cases, right? So why I go cold as someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style after you get vulnerable with me is vulnerability in a nutshell equals overwhelm. Then there's the internal panic and shutdown, where there's the withdrawing or the silence, which feels safer than the fumbling through the conversation and not wanting to feel trapped by being needed emotionally. I understand that it looks like rejection, from my monotone to the, almost indifferent responses that I give. But the coldness is really just discomfort and not knowing how to, not really having the words or the communication skills to just listen and hear this person out and just draw a simple boundary that I also am not going to be vulnerable with you in this particular situation, that I'm just going to be here to listen. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tapping in. Like, share, subscribe. Let's keep the conversation going down below in the comment section. book your one-on-one with me on my website. Find me on Instagram where I'm most active. All of my information is down below in the description box. And thank you so much for your time. And I will be tapping with you very soon. Keep it real.